Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a woman who is currently eating a slice of licorice truffle pizza. It's Megan Hoffmeyer.
Okay, so you had me at licorice, but truffle? I don't know how I feel about that combination.
Truffle licorice pizza.
I don't know. Because one's very savory.
And one's very, well, what kind of licorice you thinking about?
I don't know. Like the licorice creme brulee we had.
Whoa, that's good.
That was delicious.
On pizza?
Sure, what? Like a dessert pizza?
Truffles have had a good year.
Yeah, truffle hunters.
And pig.
Mm-hmm.
And Dune.
Spice.
So, yeah, spice. So I should have said it had spice. Yeah, so, Megan, it's been a long year. We've watched a lot of movies.
A lot of movies. I mean, wow. Were there more movies this year?
I think we just watch more because of there must have been more, but we've also been getting all the year-ends. Well, I'm not trying to sound pretentious, but we've gotten all the year-end screeners. We've been very lucky to watch a lot of movies that haven't been released yet. So It's been kind of fun to watch. And you know what, though? This has been a really, every year I can come up with an easy top 10. I feel pretty happy with it. You know, I have delusions of grandeur. I think it's really important. I release it. But this year, when we were prepping for this episode, it's like, hey, put together a top 5. And I put about 40 movies down on a list. This was really hard for me to narrow down my favorites.
I know, it's not fair. I feel very upset by having to only talk about 5.
And I think we're also lucky that we did a mid-year random awards, because imagine doing just a year of random awards for this year, because there's so many moments. Like Titan, there's 7,000 random awards I could give.
I couldn't even tell you the movies the first half of the year because we watched so many in the last couple months.
I was joking about this on the Horror Awards episode, but I said that A Quiet Place Part 2, Shadow in the Cloud, they feel like they were released about 7,000 years ago.
Oh yeah, didn't we watch Shadow in the Cloud last Christmas to New Year's time?
Yeah, we got New Year's Day, I think, because it came out January 1st. So Then we watched it, we rented it, watched it, and now it does. But that feels like, I'm not complaining. It's just been a doozy of a year. Yeah. But also, we've been in the movie muck watching a lot, which is awesome. Nothing to complain about.
Well, it seems like every streaming service now, too, is trying to have its own contenders. So maybe there are a few more movies.
We've watched
and there's
a lot.
more international entries than before. I mean, there's a lot of really exciting things coming out of the Middle East and France. So much from France this year.
France is crushing it.
They really were.
They're on fire. Are there any movies with fire in their title?
They're on Flyer.
From Mandibles?
Yeah.
All right, so if you haven't listened to our random awards yet, just know that I've been doing random awards since 2010 when I started Movies, Films, and Flicks. And so ever since 2015, we've been covering them on the podcast. And then they became so popular, we started doing a mid-year, and then we started doing an end of the year. But what this entails is we're basically covering movies that were released from, June, July, and up.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, so just mostly July up through there. So if you want to listen to our other awards, just go back and listen to that. Or go to Movies, Films, and Flicks, type it in, you'll find it. So this is just a post I look forward to doing every year. It really got away from me this year, but before we get into it, Megan, this was really hard for me, but tell me your top 5 movies of 2021. Now, not best. We're not doing the best of. We're doing our favorite movies that came out.
Oh gosh, this is terrible. I hate this. I felt very stressed about this because I kept thinking about stuff to go on here and go, no, I like these other movies too. All right, so are we doing it in order or?
Order.
Okay. Ugh. Well, okay, I'll start with Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar. It's my number 1 for the year.
Easy.
Can't be beat.
Can't be beat.
It's just so good. It is so earnest in its tone. It's a crazy balancing act with the humor and the seriousness and just how genuine they are. I don't know. You can't beat it.
Super dirty. I mean, good music. Being on set and watching this and having the faith that the edit and the humor will pull off, will be pulled off.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone trusted each other a lot in this movie, and it paid off. It's beautiful.
So good.
Yeah.
Okay, number 2, Petite Maman from Celine Sciamma.
Ugh.
Excellent.
I can't wait till the Criterion, because we already own the Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
I know. So good. Love her work, but just love this movie. It was such a nice story. I don't think I've seen something like that before.
Never. Good paint, yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. I like the publication that called it Celine Sciamma sort of dabbling in Miyazaki's world.
That makes sense. I mean, but it's just so nice, and the kids are so intelligent and just
Yeah, they're great actors.
the sisters too, which is found two sisters who can just crush it.
Mm-hmm.
Be
And
great.
there's that pancake scene. They're just so cute together.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3 is the Sparks Brothers documentary.
Oh, that's so good, wasn't it?
It was so good, and it was such a surprise. I mean, Edgar Wright does great things, obviously, but this was just so... Their movie influences so much. We talked about it on the Mid-Year Random Awards, and it was so entertaining to watch these guys because they're such characters.
Mm-hmm. Best album covers, too.
And then we got Annette,
Oh.
which was completely... All the music was done by them, so that was very fun, too. Knowing them and their story, and then seeing Annette.
Best baby singing of 2021.
It's a crazy movie.
Yes, it is. Adam Driver's had a good year. House of Gucci, Annette, and...
Last Duel. Yeah, and it really builds toward that scene at the end between him and Annette that's so good.
Oh, so good.
Number 4 is Bergman Island.
Oh.
What an excellent movie of just sort of crossing fantasy and reality, and I think I saw it called Meta somewhere, but it was a really engrossing movie. We started it in the middle of the day, as we do many times now because we've got a baby now, and we've just got so many life things, but we don't get to watch a lot in one installment. And I remember going upstairs to go, do some laundry, get dressed, all these other things, and thinking, we haven't finished that movie. I want to know what happens. I was really thinking about it, and that doesn't happen too often.
And it's so laid back, but then the narrative switches, and then it switches again, and the performances all around are just excellent. So yeah, it's so good. You're on fire. I love these.
And number 5 for me is Mass.
Yes, wow.
Mass was a real shocker. So you heard about that from some of the other critics, right?
Yeah. So let's see, what screening was I at? I was at a screening. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But they started the Atlanta Film Critics released their winners, and Mass was a co-winner for Best Ensemble. And I had gotten it. It's from Bleecker Street, so I went home, put it in. Fran Kranz directed it, and just wow.
Yeah, completely unexpected. It's so much credit to the directing and the script because just a movie that takes place in one room about 4 people. That's a lot to handle and make engrossing, but it really is.
Actors are so I think Ann Dowd, she's currently number 7th to get a Best Supporting Actress nomination at the Oscars. But I mean, what's interesting? I mean, everyone, Jason Isaac in that movie, Martha Plimpton.
He's so good. She's great too.
I mean, everyone is just top notch, and it doesn't pander. It's not insulting to the people who run the church. It's such an awkward situation. But for a first-time director it's interesting, they just shot in that room. So to find the angles and to find a way to make it visually interesting and not, what's funny? We were on a walk and I remember saying to you, I was like, I wonder if it was a stage play first. But then we realized that Fran Kranz just wrote the screenplay.
Yeah.
But you're right. This doesn't feel overly written like a stage play would. And obviously everything's written, but this didn't play like a stage play.
No,
this played like a movie.
Natural, the conversations.
Jeez Louise.
And the emotions, yeah. It's very raw, and it's a great movie. I recommend it.
What a year for first-time directors. All right, so you already mentioned a few. Barb and Star, that's in my top. That's my favorite. But since you already did that, I'm just going to do 5 others that I love. So Barb and Star is number 1. Just know that. But I'm going to do Malignant.
That movie's nuts.
It's art. It's art,
It's
Megan.
intentional nuts.
It's not like...
It's like Benedetta.
Yes. James Wan was given $40 million, and that's $10 billion in any other director's hands, because he stretches that $10 billion. Woo! He stretched that $40 million. And just...
Oh, yeah, the scenes in the house where they're kind of overhead and showing all the rooms and walking. Yeah, it's really visually striking.
And a lot of the chase scenes didn't go how I thought. There's a scene where Maddie Hansen... who we summon the darkness, she goes into a shut down building and you hear a noise and you think she's going to be killed, but then she's fine. It's just, everyone's like, this movie's so dumb, the way they parked and so stupid, but it's all on purpose. James Wan knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, no, that movie, none of those were accidents. It was very, just watch it. It's very intentional.
It's just beautiful. This wasn't a case of so bad it's good. Wan knew exactly what he was doing.
No, I think this is the year for that too. So many intentionally crazy movies.
All right, so we briefly talked about it, but no, we didn't. Pig. That's Pig.
Pig is, wow.
I mean, just the perform Alex Wolff, Arkin, and then you have Nicolas Cage, who
walking around half the movie with a bloody face.
And but you know what's crazy? Everyone just was like, Nicolas Cage freaks out. But in this movie, that lunch scene, he does more acting in that lunch scene than most people would do in their career.
Oh, yeah.
So many emotions. And that guy who was going to open a pub, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful movie. I can't think of the last time I've been so engrossed in an experience.
There's heartbreaking moments. There's quite menacing times.
Oh, it's just so good. The next, I guess, you know what? I'll do Annette. Because we briefly touched on it, but Annette for me is just such a different experience. It is the baby singing, how it builds.
Yeah.
It's just Marion Cotillard, Adam Driver, just putting in really, Simon Helberg putting in really interesting performances. So I'll say Annette. My number 4, I'm going to say Undine. Gotta say Undine. Christian Petzold is, Nina Hoss from Phoenix. Wait, what did we say? Whenever I watch Phoenix, and it's one of my favorite movies. But now whenever I see Nina Hoss, I always say it's Phoenix's Nina Hoss. Yeah. Whenever we see her, it's something else.
Yeah, when she was on Homeland, every scene.
But listen, Undine is just beautiful. Paula Beer won the Golden Bear at the Berlin Film Festival for acting. It's just, she says exactly what's going to happen. And it's just such a interesting film. Paula Beer, they did Christian's movie before this, and he swapped their roles. So she became kind of the dominant, it's just such a good movie. And these two actors are just so interesting to me. Franz Rogowski is so interesting, the two of them. They're just, I like them together, and I love the dynamics of it. And also I like sea creatures.
Yeah.
So I mean.
Well, and I like the consequences that are portrayed for actions they take, and it's just an interesting movie, and the fact that at the very beginning they sort of lay out for you what consequences are, and they happen.
They really do. Okay, so now on our list, we have, oh gosh, I want to. You covered Bergman Island, you covered Petite Maman. I could add the Suicide Squad in there. I could add the French Tiger, the French Dispatch, the White Tiger. I could also say The Novice, which I think is beautiful. Licorice Pizza, Dune, Mandibles, Worst Person in the World. Jeez Louise. Rocky, the director's cut. But I'm going to say
so much.
I'm going to say I hate it, Meg. I got 40 movies.
I know, it's awful.
What did I put in red up here? Okay. You know what? I'll just say The Suicide Squad. 5th. Okay. Now, it's gotten a lot of love. I should probably be promoting a Worst Person in the World ahead of it. But I just keep thinking about the Suicide Squad. I just love the cast. I just Weasel. It's such a, we bought the soundtrack. We have the Pretentious Mondo vinyl. Idris Elba in that movie, that scene with the little rat. I mean, Ratcatcher number 2. Taika Waititi is Ratcatcher number 1, just doing whatever the hell he wants.
Craziness.
I mean, John Cena, it's just, I don't know, it spoke my language, and I've watched it several times. I thought Margot Robbie's action scene was excellent when she kills everybody in that room. The 69 gag is hilarious. So it's just, as far as me thinking about movies going and joking around about them, I'm going to do that. So Suicide Squad, that's my 5th.
All right.
Oh gosh, that's tough.
I know, right. It's bad.
Go
watch all the 2021 movies.
There's
so much fun out there.
All right, so Meg, do you want to open us up with the random awards?
Sure. So you've already published a list on Movies, Films, and Flicks, right? But we're doing some exclusive podcast-only awards.
That's right. Exclusive right here.
Exclusive content.
Yeah.
Alert.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to go with my first one, which is Best Chocolate Heist.
Best Chocolate Heist?
In Belfast.
Oh, yeah.
So in Belfast, you've got the very charming and adorable Jude Hill as Buddy. Now, if you don't know anything about Belfast, this is a semi-autobiographical tale about Kenneth Branagh's life in Belfast during the time of the Troubles and deciding whether they would go or stay. But